Tough game, tough set of circumstances, but we had a few good stretches. Out of the second quarter was pretty good. We had it to 2, and then there was a big run at the end of the second, which got it to 12 again, which made it a lot tougher. But that's a team that's got a real chance. Not only to come out of the West, but they're a real contender. So they're very, very good, and we obviously didn't have our best game.
Rick, what were the emotions of just seeing the video before the game? I know you said you couldn't really anticipate what it would be like, and then obviously saw some tears.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. It's the only other time I've felt that kind of emotional moment was when we raised the banner, the first game of the lockout shortened season of 11-12. It was just the same kind of feeling, but I was not expecting anything like that. It was a wonderful gesture, very much appreciated.
What was it that really got you? Like what really hit you?
Yeah, it's a tough question. A lot of things, but it's really the culmination of over a decade of just amazing experiences. Some of them very, very tough, very challenging. Other ones very exuberant. Periods where it was very difficult for extended periods of time during the rebuild, and so on. It's hard to reconcile the whole thing, in one moment like that. But it's very nice, and I did not anticipate anything quite like that.
And then obviously a long line of post-game hugs. What was that like? Those conversations, those moments for you?
Yeah, no, it's a lot of special people, and I have great respect for all of them, and have gotten to know all of them very well, over whatever the periods of times are. In the case of Josh Green, it was 1 year. In the case of Dwight, he's probably the senior member of that team now, and he came in as a 4-man, and now he's a very well established 5-man, and he's really adjusted his game, perfectly to today's game, and is a perfect piece for what they're doing. And just the experience of working with a lot of those guys through the beginning parts. We talked before the game, about Dorian and Kleber even. When he got over here, he was not shooting the NBA three. He was a sometimes Euro 3-point shooter. The line was significantly shorter back in those days, and he's worked extremely hard. And he's another guy that I've gotten to know real well. Along with all those, Brunson, and right on down the line, Hardaway, and you name it. It's just it's a special group. This is a special place, and it's a challenging thing, coming back like this and going through all that. But that's it, and everybody's moving on.
Anyone else in here?
What was the embrace like with Luka at the end, having a chance to just, we talked before about how transcendent of a player he is.
Yeah, he's if he's not the best player in the world, he's right on the cusp. He's just so good, and I've always had such great respect for his talent, and everything about his game, and him as a person too. I know what a good guy he is. I've seen a lot of that, and he's just gotten better in every way. Every year he's just gotten better and better and better, And he's one guy, in today's game, and there's a few. So you got LeBron James, you've got James Harden, you've got Durant. I'll get myself in trouble by missing some names here. Luka, guys that measure every single millimeter of the court, and they always have an answer. They always have an answer, and if they don't have an answer, it's just because they happen to miss once in a while. It's they're that good. But the first time we played them, I watched it on TV, and he was not himself. He was yo-yoing back and forth from an ankle issue, and he wasn't where he wanted to be, from in terms of his how he felt in the court, conditioning, all that kind of stuff. That was obvious. And then they did a very smart thing. They did with him what we're doing with Brogdon, and they took a period of time and said, no more. We're going to make sure that this is all taken care of. And then he got COVID too, I guess, along with the rest of us. But now they're in a big time groove, and again they're a real threat in the West and in the big picture.
Lucas seemed to really enjoy when you got the carrying called on him.
Hey, you gotta try to find some ways to slow the guy down. I mean, even if you have to just beg for a call, but yeah, no, he's and the guys that he's playing with, are each year just come a little more in tune to how this whole thing, works, and there's a give and take there for sure, but they're a well-oiled machine and playing an extremely high level. So I'm happy for them, happy for Jason, happy for Mark, all the people that are such great people, and it'll be interesting to watch them down the stretch of the season.
It might not go 13 years, but obviously second stint with this team. What is it like for you to be back with the Pacers?
Well, it's my third stint, really. If you're counting, every time the moving truck showed up, it's special. It's it doesn't happen very often that you're asked back a third time. Our situation is different. Our team's built a different way. We've had a lot of challenges, but we have great people in the organization. We have talented players that need to fit together a certain way, and my job is to oversee all that. And we've gotten hit with our share of injuries and all that kind of stuff, but at the same time, we're having a chance to develop young players. Duarte's had great experience this year. Jackson's getting a real chance to play now. He's got some abilities that we have not had on this roster. They have not had on this roster in a long time, with his, rim threat ability, etc. And then a guy like Duane Washington on the two-way, who was really just played his butt off all year long, and continues to show why he belongs in the NBA. But it's good to be back. It's good to have the opportunity to be back in Indiana with a great franchise. Herb Simon's an amazing man. The real challenge for me is I miss my family because they're here. Abby's finishing up at Hockaday this year, next year, and she's had an amazing experience there. And I get to see them, but not as much as I'd like, and so that's the big challenge. But fortunately, I'm with a great organization, working with great people and talented players.
We'll go on to Pat. Go ahead. Rick, it's clear how much personal and professional development mean to you. I wanted to ask specifically about Isaiah Jackson as he's gotten some more playing time over the last couple of weeks. What are you learning about him?
Well, we've got to adjust to the abilities that he has. Our guys need to learn how to throw lob passes. It's a skill that's probably taken too much for granted in this league, but it's something that we're working on. We're going to continue to work on it. We have some guys that have a real knack for throwing it, but we have others that haven't thrown many here over the recent years. So he's learned a lot about defense in this league, and he's getting to know the referees very well, as you can tell by watching. He has a lot of animated conversations with them, and those are distractions that he'll learn to mitigate over time. But there's no substitute for this kind of experience.
Scott, go ahead.
Rick, you coached over 1,000 games there. You raised your family there. Kind of cemented, I think, who you are as a coach there. Is that generally how you look back at your time there and what it meant to you professionally?
Well, I don't think I've cemented who I am as a coach. I think that's an ongoing evolution. As you get with different teams, work with different groups of players, the game evolves. You try to stay ahead of it. If you're not staying ahead of it, you certainly got to keep up with it. So, I'll never stop learning about all of this, and it's a humbling profession on so many levels, and you've got to approach it with a level of humility, a level of excitement every day, and you just always got to recognize the human element, and really be aware of it and embrace that, and always work on being a better communicator.
We'll do one more. Tony, go ahead.
Rick, you guys have had some rougher defensive games, quarter tabs, whatever, recently. What have you noticed is the biggest culprit to you guys slipping a little bit on that end?
Well, tonight it was a healthy Luka Doncic. Okay, I mean, that made it tough, and this is a high level team, and catching them in the second night is not easy, But we'll look at it. We don't have Miles in there, who's a guy that is the best on the planet at protecting the rim, and so that creates new challenges that we got to meet. If you saw our game last night, we mixed up a lot of things. We played zone, we played man, we played base coverage. We were liberal switching at times. We're throwing the kitchen sink out there most nights, to hang in and try to give ourselves a chance.
For you, what was it like just getting back in the action and just staying ready like we talked about? I know you didn't play last night, came in tonight, you got a pretty good amount of minutes.
It's something that, like you said, we talked about. It's something that's always in the back of my head is staying ready, because you never know how the game will go. And tonight, it just went the way it did, and I stepped up and played in a big minute. So
I know I believe there was a double tech there.
Yeah.
Is that just you just not backing down? How would you describe, I guess, the sequence?
I feel like it was just both of us just being competitive. We're in there. I think we both getting minutes that, for the first time that we, usually don't get. So, it's just us being competitive, just going at each other. We just got double tech. That's just the competitive spirit of the game. So.
And what's your mindset on the offensive glass? You got in and probably got 3 or 4 offensive boards right away. Mm-hmm. Quick jumping. Like, how much of it is, I don't want to discredit it, like it's natural, but how much of that also is like instinct and timing and things like that?
I feel like it's a little bit of both. I feel like that's something that God blessed me with, but also something that I think it takes skill too, because you have to know when to jump, when you want to tip the ball. Like, it's just a lot of things, and if it's somebody under you, know when to move them, push them off a little bit to get the rebound or tip it. It's just a lot. I feel like it's a lot of everything. So.
Pat, go ahead.
Isaiah, another night where you made a lot of plays tonight. You had 6 fouls as well. Are you kind of at the point where you're just worrying about trying to make plays and be in the right spots and aren't yet considering the foul aspect to your game? Is that something that maybe comes along as you gain more experience?
I feel like fouls, something that I'm trying to backtrack on, something that I'm continuing to learn on, especially on the defensive end. I feel like it's something that's going to take a process that I'm going to have to understand how to just stay down, not really go for a lot of ball fakes. And I can't complain about the refs calls either. Even though most of them sometimes be, little ticky-tack fouls, I just got to push through it and just keep playing. And the ones, really just control the fouls I can control, really. Like the ones that cheap, just jumping up, getting in the air, those I can control. So I just got to stay down and also just moving my feet and not reaching as much. That's something that, I'm just going to continue to work on, and it's going to improve, so.
Tony, go ahead.
Isaiah, you just mentioned some things you yourself are working on, but this team has given up quite a few points in some recent games. Where do you feel like you guys are struggling the most on the defensive end?
I feel like offensive rebounds. Defensive rebounds. There's a lot of times where teams get offensive rebounds on us and they end up scoring. And it's hard to really say because for me, I feel like it's like the basketball guys because it can be like a long shot and nobody's right there. So it's like the team had another choice but to get the offensive rebound. But at the same time, it's a lot of times where we could have had the offensive rebound, but it's like our players fighting for the rebound or, even just, not just getting the rebound, not fighting for it or whatever. So, on my end too, it was a couple times where on free throw blockouts that I didn't really block out my man. Again, that's something I got to work on, continue to work on as a team. We got to work on, so.
Now that you're in the rotation and playing a little bit more, have you changed anything about the way you prepare for games or anything about your game day routine maybe to get ready to play?
No, it's been the same since high school, really. Just all I need is a pregame nap, pregame shower. Just come over here and warm up and get ready.
That heater you got on there early in the second quarter and maybe just how it felt to just jumpstart the team that way.
Yeah, the guys believe in me, coaches believe in me. Just wanted to go out there, be aggressive, make my presence known, just play my game, and find open, good shots and be aggressive for sure.
Is there a way you look at the game? Because I know you had some drives as well. You had a dunk. I don't know if the guys got on you about that, but has it been in your mind to maybe mix it up a little bit more, knowing that you've knocked down some shots and teams will probably be known to run you off the three-point line?
Yeah, man. All my life I've been working on shooting the three, obviously, but obviously been working on other stuff in my game. So for me, trying to be a really, really good three-level scorer. Teams are gonna start scouting and taking certain stuff away, and you got to be a good player, make good plays, and that's getting to the rack and floaters and mid ranges as well, taking good crisp ones. So for me, just trying to get to my spots where I feel comfortable, and then letting it go with confidence and just believing in it. My teammates believe in me to take good ones, clean ones. So when those opportunities arise, I gotta let them go for sure.
And then defensively, how do you accept that challenge as well? We talked about your offense, but you seem to be pretty sound defensively and take pride in that, defensively as well.
Yeah, I've had the bubble over my head that he doesn't guard, he doesn't play hard on defense. That's never been the case. Just for me, learning defense, learning from the older guys, learning from TJ, who's been out for a while now. So he's always in my ear, just giving me hints, tips, and tricks. But just being competitive, these are the best of the best guys, and iron sharpens iron. So for me, just not letting anybody take advantage of me and my matchup. I heard a lot of things about attacking rookies and being introduced to the league, and early on we had some good matchups throughout the season. So for me, just competing at a high level, and I'm out there for a reason. It's not less or more in any particular way. So just going out there competing.
Pat, go ahead.
Duane, what is having consistent minutes in the month of January like you have? What does that do for your development?
Excuse me. For me, just trying to take as much as I can and learn from it and apply it to the next game. For me, it's just building. I'm learning every single game, every single day, and that's what I'm trying to do. Trying to keep that attitude just learn, soak everything up like a sponge. From the opposing teams, watching the game, playing in the game. Road trips, just listening to guys and paying attention to the little things. For me, just going out there and being me, playing really, really hard, and leaving it all out there on the floor is what I'm focused on, and the rest takes care of itself.
Tony.
Wayne, you get a lot of questions about your offense, but I want to ask you about this team's defense. You guys have had some rougher nights on that end recently. What have you seen as the biggest culprit for you guys' struggles on that end?
I think just the little things, the details, just staying focused on our coverage, just staying focused on what we worked on, what we talked about, what we went over, shoot around and in practice, preparing for these teams. I think we need to hold each other accountable, just keep believing in each other. We've got a lot of young guys, man. We've got a lot to learn. So we're just out there trying our hardest, and learning every single possession. Like I said before, me, Isaiah, Chris, TT, Kiefer, we're just out there learning every single game, trying to apply what we learned to the next game. And it takes time. Mentally, we're tough and we're strong, and we're not going to let any loss or what anybody says deteriorate what we got going. We're just going to keep building, stay connected, and hopefully things will turn around, and we'll be able to make a push sometime in the future.
In past seasons, the two-way players have gotten really close, between traveling up and down and playing together all the time and stuff. How is you and Terry's relationship, and what have you liked about seeing him get a little bit of burn for the Pacers the last couple of days?
Yeah, it's amazing, man. Just Kiefer as well. We all were down in the G League prior to the year starting. Just working, playing. We went to Wisconsin and played in Fort Wayne a few times. So obviously, just to see us, the chemistry is definitely there. Playing with each other for multiple games and in the showcase as well. But now it's a blessing, man. Like I said, none of us are taking advantage or taking this lightly. This is a blessing, and this is a great opportunity for us. So we're just going out there playing super hard and leaving everything we got out there.
Yeah, Domas, just wondering how you're feeling off of a couple of back-to-back games. You noted your conditioning was maybe more of an issue than your ankle, but you'll have a day off and then another game Monday. Just wondering how you're doing physically.
Yeah, a little tired, but just got to rest up tomorrow. It's going to be a day off. We're going to watch film and come in, and we have a home game, which we're going to come out and compete.
Scott?
Domas, I'm sure you're past the return thing in OKC, but Rick got to experience that a little bit tonight. What was that for you guys, and seeing him being embraced and celebrated tonight?
It was awesome. He had a hell of a career here with them, and just seeing him get emotional like that and seeing how much it means to him just shows what a big impact he had on the community and the city and the team and everyone here. So it was just it was awesome to be part of it.
And then you guys are back home now for a week. What will that feel like and mean to you after kind of being gone all month?
Feel great. Definitely feel great being home. Our fans, our arena, our own beds. So we're just excited.
Pat?
You guys are obviously on a back-to-back tonight. They had a couple of nights off. Sort of a flip is going to happen on Monday. The Clippers have had a long road trip. You'll have had a game off. How much do you notice that in a game? Is it a significant difference, or is that something that can be more mental?
I think at the end of the day, it's more mental. Once you step on the court, you just want to compete and play hard. So it's more of the mental aspect. You just got to prepare yourself to come out there and compete.
Go ahead.
Domas, you probably saw the graphic, but you passed your dad in career points in the NBA. I know he came over much later in his career, but what's that mean to you to see that you've kind of matched his contributions in this league?
It's crazy, I always looked up to my dad, and just to have done that, it's pretty wild. I didn't know any of that, but he did all that in the same amount of years, but he was playing on one leg and during the end of his career. So I have a long way to go, and just enjoying the ride.